corporate media outlets are reporting that before the South Carolina primary, Bernie Sanders did not try to gain the support of Jim Clyburn, who is a very notable and historic figure here in South Carolina. Black, Congressman Jim Clyburn. So he didn't try to get that support. So again, I can't say that he's been criticized for it, but it's been mentioned like, well, you're. I guess you could say he's criticized because they're saying that, hey, Bernie Sanders has been trying to make inroads in the black community for some time, even since his his failed run for the Democratic nomination in 2016. He's been trying to increase that support. So if you were trying to increase that support, why wouldn't you try to get the support of Jim Clyburn? Now, Bernie Sanders just had an interview last night. It was Wednesday night with MSNBC's Rachel Maddow. And he explained that, yes, he has worked with Jim Clyburn in the past, notably on the Affordable Care Act, and has respect for him, this and that, but that their politics do not line up whatsoever. There was no chance that Jim Clyburn was going to endorse him. I agree. It would have been ridiculous to even campaign for that. It just would have been, it would have made no sense for him to even try to get it. He wasn't going to get it. Now, there has been this suggestion that Bernie Sanders is talking at black people. He's talking about things that will improve the lives of black people, but not just black people, everybody, right? And people want a really a focused attention on black people. If you're black, you want focused attention. I get that. Corey Richardson on Twitter, he noted that the difference between Biden and Bernie Sanders, though, is that Biden is actually cutting deals with, black leaders. So he said, in response to somebody saying, I'd honestly like to understand why Biden has such a big following with this demographic when Bernie literally got arrested for protesting during the civil rights movement. I'd appreciate some clarity if someone is willing to offer it. So Corey Richardson said, it's simple. Bernie has spent 40 years in politics and doesn't have any connections with black politicians. He spent all his time making points while Biden spent time making deals. You can't win statewide or nationwide on a picture from the 60s. You got to have local support. I agree that Joe Biden has made some inroads, man. He has gotten a lot of black support. But how has he done it? Has he cut deals with black politicians? I'm sure that he has, just like Mike Bloomberg was trying to cut deals with black politicians.
Cut deals to do what, though?
That's what. So for Bernie Sanders to gain this black support, he would have had to cut deals that would effectively have limited his advocacy for regular people. Do you understand?
And the issues that matter to him the most.
He would have had to just put that to the wayside. He would have had to abandon his whole goal of raising the standard of living for regular people in this country. He would have had to put that over here just so that he could get some black support. Now, if the mission is to actually do something, to actually advocate for people in this country, not just black people, but everybody. If the mission is to actually progress people forward and give them a fighting chance in this country, if you're going to do that, then you have to advocate for people. But if you want black support, you got to do something different.
You have to do something different. You have to make deals with black leaders or leaders that have a certain skin tone.
Yep.
I just say happen to have a certain skin tone because if I say black, when people say black leader, right, there's that's an inference. Uh-huh. They're not just somebody who's black who is an influential figure. When they say black leader, that kind of suggests that is a person who looks out for the best interests.
Yeah, you got to make a distinction.
You have to make a distinction.
Yes.
These are just politicians who have a certain skin tone.
Right. Politicians that happen to be black.
Yes. That's basically what it is.
Are you looking out for the best interests of black people? We're in South Carolina. We are in South Carolina. Now, Jim Clyburn is not our congressperson, but he's a longtime Congress member from South Carolina. Black person, right? Okay. There's a lot of affinity towards Jim Clyburn. Am I going to sit up here and say that Jim Clyburn is looking out for the best interests of people or black people? Regular folk?
I tell you what, though.
I wouldn't say that.
If you look at what Jim Clyburn said about Bernie Sanders and about what he is offering, you can tell what kind of deals he made. And you can tell what those deals entailed. When he says things like, nobody wants free stuff, nobody cares about that free stuff.
Nobody is interested in getting anything for free.
When you lying like that,
See,
nobody.
those are the kind of deals that Richardson, what's his name?
Jason. Oh, no. Corey Richardson.
Corey Richardson. Yeah. That's the kind of deals that he's talking about. No, wait. That's not necessarily what he said.
No, it isn't.
That's not necessarily what he said, but those are the type of deals that
you would have to cut.
That's what you have to cut.
Yes.
So you would have to cut a deal that almost promotes the inequality you're trying to stop and trying to work against.
Right. So to get the black support, maybe you would have to say, well, you know what? Medicare for all, may be going too far.
You would have to become a corporatist.
Yeah.
You would have to become a corporatist. You would have to, I guess, deliver language. Mm-hmm. You would have to publicly deliver language that defines yourself as a corporatist. Mm-hmm. That's what you would have to do. That's the deal that Clyburn made. And that's how you become a black leader. Sorry.
A leader.
That happens to be black in this country. Yeah. And that's the elephant in the room, and that's what a lot of people, especially black people, don't want to talk about. There's definitely a segment of black people that talk about this all the time, but it's small. It's really small.